U.S. naval aviation is synonymous with the aircraft carrier, a huge, fast-moving airstrip, a veritable floating city. 80,000 tons, 1,100 feet long, filled with expensive airplanes and 5,000 highly trained men. The Ranger is commanded by Captain Pedersen. And Captain, I want to thank you for having us on board today. You know, the last time I was on board a carrier was back in World War II when I was a Marine fighter pilot. I must say the Ranger looks an awful lot different than anything I saw at that period.
Yes, sir.
Captain, could you tell us the present-day purpose of the aircraft carrier? Didn't it really reach its ultimate destiny in World War II?
No, sir, I don't think so. I think it's continued to grow. The only difference really is that the carriers themselves are bigger, the aircraft are faster, the weapons capability is far greater than it ever was. It's a very mobile, maneuverable weapons system. Where else can you move a system such as this 700 miles in a day?
Going back in time, the very first aircraft carrier was the HMS Furious. It was built by Britain during World War I to help combat German shipping and naval action. The Furious and its complement of rickety biplanes didn't see much action, but it was the first. The U.S. Navy started their venture into aviation with float planes like this early model. The Navy needed help to prove to Congress that they wanted to accomplish more in aviation. And help came from a rather oblique source, the Army. Captain Billy Mitchell wanted to prove that airplanes could sink ships, so he got a captured German battleship, anchored it, and proceeded to sink it. The Navy soon realized that an aircraft carrier was the only answer. So they rebuilt an old coaling ship, the USS Jupiter, and named it the Langley. U.S. naval aviation began to come into its own. Landing an aircraft on this pitching, rolling postage stamp was high adventure. Listen to some comments of the early pioneers.
And then you thought to yourself, are we going to make it on that little thing?
My tailhook rode one of these fore and aft wires, which caused the plane to slew to the left. And I did a very beautiful wing over the port side and into the drink.
Congress appropriated some more money, and 2 unfinished battle cruisers were converted into aircraft carriers, the Lexington and the Saratoga, first going into active duty in 1927. The Japanese were watching this activity with dismay and proceeded to build their own carriers, goaded along by Admiral Yamamoto, who had the feeling that one day the 2 nations had to meet on the battlefield. The Japanese chose the day and the place and proceeded to sink most of our capital ships in Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, except for our aircraft carriers, which were fortunately out of the harbor. All of the years of our naval aviation practice and anticipation came to fruition as the fleets of the U.S. and Japan met and battled and sank each other. The ratio of sinking was almost 1 for 1, but fortunately for the U.S., the Japanese were not able to build ships and planes as fast as the U.S. One of the early highlights of carrier activity was the first attack upon Japan's homeland in April 1942 by Army B-25 bombers carried close to Japan by the USS Hornet. The B-25s were commanded by James Doolittle and took off at 2,000 pounds over their designed weight. New types of fighting planes were designed and built, and the U.S. built carriers faster than Japan could sink them. The Fast Attack Carrier Task Force was conceived and put into being with devastating effects upon the enemy. Carriers were also used against the Germans in the Atlantic, and one of our little Jeep carriers actually captured a German U-boat. It is now on exhibition at the Museum of Science and Industry building in Chicago. The combination of overwhelming sea power, naval air power, plus the bombing of Japan, and of course, the ultimate power of the atom, brought the victory to the U.S. The aircraft carrier had reached the zenith of its reason for existence. Right after World War II, the Navy decided to form a flight demonstration team. That was to keep reinforcing naval aviation's image with the public. So the Blue Angels were born. Naval aviation's next big change was to jet aircraft. Landing speeds jumped 50 knots. The angled deck was born to enable a plane that missed catching the wires to shoot back off and make another try at it. As soon as they touch down, they add full power, just in case they miss the wire and have to go around. The pilot said landing was like a controlled crash, and that any landing you could walk away from was a good landing. To be aboard an aircraft carrier during the launching and landing of aircraft is an experience in frenetic activity. The wind is blowing across the deck at a gale force of about 30 knots. The jet engines are screaming from every direction. The planes are hitting the deck with loud thunks, the elevators are running up and down, and the steam catapults are an adventure all to themselves. The plane handlers wear colors that indicate their jobs. It appears to be a madhouse, and hand signals are the accepted method of communication. Commander Dan Schul is the Rangers aircraft handling officer. Commander Schul has about 1,000 hours in the F-14 Tomcat, one of the present-day hotshot fighters. It's capable of 1,800 miles per hour, carrying rockets and other good stuff. The F-14 has variable sweep wings, and well, it's quite different from the Corsair I used to fly in World War II. Well, back in those days, we used to think it was pretty tough to land on a carrier. How is it today, Commander?
Well, it's still about the same. It'd probably be considered the most fun you could have with your clothes on. What they've tended to do is slow the aircraft down, make coming aboard a little bit safer. A day trap is really a lot of fun. A night arrestment is rather difficult. It's probably the most demanding phase of a carrier aviator today. There have been a lot of people that land in the evening that after a night trap that, you got the shakes a little bit.
Well, thanks very much, Commander. It's nice talking to you. Look, I'm going to need a ride back to Point Magoo. Can you fix me up with an airplane?
Yes, sir, sure can. Just follow me. We'll go down and we'll get you lined up.
Very good. Well, here we are at the U.S. Naval Air Station at Point Magoo, and we're waiting for the world-renowned Blue Angels to land. Oh, here they are now. The Blue Angels are the U.S. Navy's flight demonstration squadron. Their avowed purpose is to be ambassadors of goodwill and demonstrate precision techniques of naval aviation to the public in order to attract talented and qualified young men and women to join them in the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps. Here comes the flight leader and commanding officer, Denny Wisely. Let's say hello. Commander?
Hi, Vic.
Well, it's nice to meet you, sir. I've admired the Blue Angels for many years. I just love to watch you guys.
Thanks for those kind words. All it takes to do that sort of flying is dedication, concentration, and practice, practice, practice.
Well, it shows. It's just beautiful.
Well, thank you. I understand that you're a pilot and that you flew as a Marine fighter pilot in World War II.
Yes, sir. We flew Corsairs then. I just loved them.
Have you ever flown a jet?
No, sir.
Would you like to?
Would I? Yes, sir.
Well, let me introduce you to Lieutenant Kevin Miller over here, and he'll take you for a ride.
Hi, Lieutenant. Well, I'll go get suited up and be right back.
I'm ready. Okay. Just going up there and jump in the back seat, and my crew chief, Bob, will strap you into the number 7 jet. Okay.
All right, Bob.
Hey, now he's positioning himself behind our right wing. If you look in your mirror, you should be able to see him give me signals to deploy the flaps, speed brakes, and spoilers.
Yeah, I got him.
Blue Angel 7, we'll go ground, text runway 3103015, altimeter 3011.
All set?
Set.
Here we go. I got good engine pressure, good oil pressure, good RPM, fuel flow, exhaust gas temperature climbing. Lift the flaps up. Nose wheel getting light here at 120. We'll be airborne about 140.
Oh, my word.
Let's go flying.
Yes, sir.
Not a bad way to see Magoo.
Oh, that'll do.
Good afternoon, departure, Blue Angel 7 with you.
Angel 7, radar contact.
The takeoff was a son of a gun. And
Okay, we can go ahead and get the aileron rolls out of the way too here if you like.
yeah, I'd love to do that.
Okay, let me show you one first here.
All right.
It's a maneuver where I put the nose of the airplane up 10 degrees, stop the nose, and roll it, just like this. Wings are level, nose comes up 20 degrees, stop it, roll it. Like that.
Oh, my word. That was pretty good.
Peter, our next maneuver is going to be a loop. We're going to take it all the way up into the vertical and all the way back down. In this maneuver, you're going to feel 4 times the pull of gravity, or 4 Gs. You'll actually feel the skin pull down tight against your face. You all set?
Yeah, can I follow you through?
You betcha.
All right.
Here we go.
Yes, sir.
1 potato, 2 potato, 4 Gs. Up we go. That's it.
That's perfect. Just perfect. Oh, my word.
Please, Blue Angel 7 with you.
Blue Angel 7, play control, radar contact 7 miles southwest of Point Magoo. Maintain VFR conditions at all times. Utilize Magoo altimeter 3011.
Speed brakes are coming out. Now. Back on the power. Slow, and I'll be dropping the gear at 225. Okay, landing gear's coming down. Now. That's coming down. Now.
Blue Angel 7, Magoo, clear. Check wheels downwind 030 at the 16, cleared to land.
Blue Angel 7, cleared it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, Kevin, that's the greatest flight I ever had in my life. Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's my pleasure, sir.
A little faster than we used to do things, as I remember.
You did just fine.
Thank you. Well, today is the day the Blue Angels have worked so hard for. This is show day at Point Magoo, and the Blues are getting their planes ready to go.
I can't see it. Rolling out. Easy to pull. Easy car. Way back up. Easy more car. Little more down. Little more down.
The Blue Angels have been doing this flight demonstration work since 1946 and have made their flawless displays of aerial artistry to over 150 million viewers. The Blue Angels have been flying the McDonnell Douglas A-4 Skyhawk since 1973. The A-4 Skyhawk is a high-powered, lightweight tactical aircraft capable of climbing 30,000 feet per minute with a roll rate of 720 degrees per second. The Blue Angels selected the A-4 on the basis of performance, simplicity, reliability, and economy. The Skyhawk needs only 25 man-hours of maintenance for each hour of flight. Commander, that was a beautiful flight. And I understand that that was the 2,299th demonstration flight for an audience.
Yes, it was.
Is that right?
It's all in a day's work, Pete.
Well, I'm sure the audience is going to want to say hello to you.
Well, we look forward to that. Thank you.
You bet. Well, that's the story of naval aviation and the Blue Angels. And